Shang-Chi's all right. I mean, it's Marvel, so it's like
That's why I have no clue what it was. I was like, what the
yeah,
hell is Shang-Chi?
it was better than that Black Widow shit, but.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Steven Dozer, and I am the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed, unstoppable, unscripted, and uncensored podcast, airing live every Thirsty Thursday at 10:05. Such good shoot. And as always, we have Vintage Isaac.
And my buddy Nat today.
Hello, Nat.
Innovative Shane.
Innovative.
And they are intoxicatingly entertaining.
I'll drink to that.
And you can't teach that.
Oh man, you got the big BL today, dude.
Well, Trent left fucking most of a case here.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, no, I mean,
when his parole officer rolled through.
I mean, how many of them some bitches you got, man? You're used to drinking, two fucking
Tall
like
boys. I've got two.
I mean, no, not even tall boys. Usually they're the bigger cans, or like the 24 ounces.
Yeah, whatever the big ones are. I have.
And they're usually like 8%. I mean, how many BLs you got, dude?
I got like 5 here. I got a few more in the fridge. I still have one of those. I think it's a fucking tall boy of peach, but maybe Bud Light peach tea or something like that. I don't know. That one was kind of shitty because it had like fucking stevia or fucking saccharin or fucking some shit in it. I don't know. I don't like fake sugar. Just give me real sugar. I'm drinking alcohol. I don't need to be fucking healthy about it. You know what I'm saying?
Cattail.
Cattail. Yeah, I guess we're drinking. We're drinking early
again,
boys. Yeah. And here's one for James Bond and Daniel Craig. Rest in peace to James Bond. Shane, they blew him up. I'm sorry, I'm gonna spoil this shit. They blew him up.
Oh, Wade is so mad at you right now.
He's not watching, is he?
Oh, he is. I'm sure he is. I mean, he's got to be one of the two, dude.
Sorry, Wade.
Oh, he's pissed
spoiler
off.
alert.
God damn it, we're going to lose half our fucking viewership. Yeah, what? Thank you.
I didn't one half
they just
of the viewers. Wade might be destroying his computer right now. I mean, for all I know, he is.
Yeah, listen in close. I'm sorry, Wade. If you were watching, I'm sorry. If you're not watching anymore, yeah, dude.
Shane, what the fuck you drinking tonight before Isaac says anything else to lose us our other viewer?
our ones of viewers.
Viewers. Come on in, fellers. Water's fine.
Oh, just some standard Bush Heavy. Got about 4 of them over there. And real quick, I just want to say I'm saving the Chic of the Week for a special time. So I'll let you know when to hit it.
I want to smoke a blunt though.
You can smoke a blunt without that. I'll talk about my liquor because I got a big ass bottle here of Diplomatico rum.
Oh shit!
Supposedly, it pairs fantastic with cigars, especially the Diplomatico cigar, which I don't have. But it's a cigar. I got this Fratello sweet tip shit tonight. It's pretty good. The new JTT launched exclusively from Tobaccology in Haymarket, Virginia.
Oh, yeah, that is the new one. How is it? Is it good?
It's delicious. It's a very subtle sweet tip, and then the Oro blend just kicks in after that, and it's delightful. I'm happy I bought a box.
Yes. Dozer, have you ever had the Diplomaticos cigar?
I have had that once upon a time.
Okay, I was gonna say because I'm sure I've got a couple in the basement that could somehow end up in your hands.
I'm curious at where you're broadcasting from today. Does you sound as if you're like?
Oh, and yeah, it's different. What view is this? Is
Or
not
do you
the
have
same
like a
view?
special reverb? I'm just talking about auditory wise.
Well, it's the same room as
Oh,
always.
there he goes. Oh, now he's back. Okay.
Oh,
I was right. I just
It-
thought I was fucking stoned off my ass for a minute.
No,
I was
no, I
"Damn,
did the
bro."
intro with different settings,
like,
but
oh,
I'm not nearly Jewish enough to sound like Paul Heyman.
oh man, I
It-
thought you were like in a well, and I'm like, man, I'm just high. You must just be high. And then I'm like, no,
Hi.
hi. I am very high.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, yes, that we know. Well, since Shane isn't going to do the Sheik of the Week, I will do the Question of the Week.
yeah, let's do that. We haven't done
Because
that in a
I
while.
have something that bothers the shit out of me, and I'm going to ask it as a question because it makes no sense to me. What's the point of changing a second-generation star's name if all we're going to do is allude to who their parents are and sometimes just flat out tell you who their
Oh.
parents are?
assuming you're talking about Braun
Right.
Break,
I was
Braun
gonna-
Braun
Break guy?
Breaker and what the fuck's his name? Curtis Axel before him, and
I was thinking Brian Christopher.
all these people.
Jerry Lawler.
What the fuck's the point if we're just going to say who the parents are?
I mean, I think it kind of depends situation by situation because obviously, like the Brian Christopher thing, like was part of the joke. You know what I mean? It was
yeah.
part of
Yeah.
the gimmick to begin
Which
with.
worked.
So that worked. But in the case of Braun Breaker, it's just somebody with their thumb up their ass trying to make him seem scarier, or they're mad at the Steiners, so they don't want them to use the Steiner name.
No, it's because
But we're going to call him a dog-faced gremlin.
They don't ever want him. They don't ever want anybody to come into this company anymore with their own name, with their own anything. They want to create it all so they can own copyright to all of it because they create characters.
But-
Right? They don't know. They want to own the characters.
It's like a little bit later in the show. We have, I think WWE calls her likes to suck dick a lot or whatever. But they go, she's married to Cody Rhodes.
Oh shit! I love.
And
that.
then just call her Brandy Rhodes. Like, why the fuck did we have to give her a completely different name that's in no way related to this? If you're just going to allude to what their non-ring names are, don't give them a different fucking ring name if it's not an actual gimmick.
I mean, a lot of it is only makes sense if if you look at it in the context of creating and holding trademarks and copyrights. I mean, honestly, it's really what it is in merchandising, etc. I mean, for them, which is
that's
all
the
they
funny
do.
thing.
They're not creating. Like that's the thing is like if you think about what WWE does these days, which is still very different from AEW, is like they're not trying to sell tickets. They're not trying to get anyone to watch their show. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They've made their money on Peacock deal. They make their money on advertising. They've got to hit a certain amount of viewers to like get their advertising revenue, but like all their money is coming in via like other channels. It has nothing to do with actually like people watching wrestling. They could fucking do whatever they want.
Which is why I haven't really watched WWE in weeks and mainly watch AEW, which is a drastic change from a year and a half ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Every step, every level too. Like NXT, like I don't want to watch that anymore.
No,
and NXT 2.0 is all right as long as you look at it and forget NXT, which is impossible to do.
Yeah, it's like just like watching the revived ECW.
But in general, it's not like a horrible wrestling show by any means, but it feels a lot more like an indie show not in a good way.
I have a way to fix this. So WWE, they're stuck with this time slot regardless. They got to put programming there. I propose we move NXT back to exclusively on Peacock. And in its place, we bring heat back. Or velocity. Bring back a legit B tier show with B tier talent to get more people on. And I think that'd be a better use of fucking primetime TV than NXT, because it makes no sense. The second they bring these people up, they're going to change their names. They're going to change their gimmicks, despite the fact everybody has seen these people. We've seen Braun Breaker. We know who he is. And now he's going to be Bobby Strongbad.
No, he's just going to be Braun. They'll just axe half of his name.
I mean, their best bet at this point is to do fucking like stupid reality shows with one of those time slots. I mean, a huge part of the problem is Raw's 3 hours. I mean, the problem is they have too much. They have too much time, and they don't know what to do with it all. That's why they have replays for 45% of Raw.
Which, it's hilarious. They got 4 bajillion people. Even after firing 3,000 people the last 2 years, they still have 4 bajillion people on the roster.
4 bajillion, I don't know if you know that, is a very large number, kids.
It is. So, they could easily rotate in other talent. It's the one thing AEW's doing right. They don't feel the need that they have to have the same 5 people on every single show.
Well, I mean, if you're always there, then, like, what's the incentive to watch? It's not special. Like, there is something that's, like, intelligent about booking so you're not overexposing any single talent, like...
Well, I mean, the thing is that AEW does have the same people on a lot of the shows, but how they use them is where the difference is. Like, the only guy I can think that they're overexposing as far as wrestling goes is the American Dragon, and I don't think anyone's complaining about seeing Danielson wrestle every single night, because he is just kind of the best wrestler in the world today. Like,
they're overexposing him, but I think that's part of the gimmick.
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm not, that's a time when it's okay. You know what I mean? Just like John Cena back on like his US title open challenge run. Like, that was the best thing on Raw, and you saw him do it every single week. You just have to put good programming out there. It doesn't matter if you see the same person every week, as long as what they're doing is interesting. The reason why people don't like seeing the same people on Raw every week is because it's fucking boring every single time.
Well, like, they're not promoting anything.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's the same match every week.
Yeah, the only things they really promote is like the network. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, like, they don't actually get you excited for any pay-per-views. They don't get you worked up for any programs. Like, everything is copy paste, and it's like everyone has run out of like the balls over there, and they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna do whatever we have to do to get through. And it was like, I worked at a place for a while, and like one of the guys who worked there is who had worked there before, like I had talked to him, and he's like, yeah, their motto there is like, let's just get through today. And sometimes it kind of feels like they're like, yeah, let's just get through today. We'll worry about that tomorrow. And then every day is, let's just get through today.
Pisses me off.
Yeah. Whereas AEW, like, at the very least, there's intentionality. Like, there's some thought of like, we want to put on a wrestling show, and, love it or hate the in-ring product. Like, like whatever your style is, like, I get it. But like, all due respect, like they care about putting on a good show for the fans. You can tell that there's like thought there, and that they're doing their best. And for a fucking fledgling company, I mean, to see what they've done, it's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with AEW, everyone has said this, and I honestly believe this, is that it all starts from the top. Apparently, Tony Khan is like a great guy to work for. Like, he's fun. He's constantly involved with the wrestlers. He's constantly like involved with like talking storylines, but also being like open to ideas and open to feedback and everything else. you know, and then it just funnels down through. I mean, you look at like the coaches that they have, you know, Jerry Lynn, Dean Malenko,
just the kind of veterans they have there too.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you have a lot of great guys hanging out all the time. I mean, Paul White, Mark Henry, you know, Dustin Rhodes,
Arn Anderson.
Yeah, Arn.
All those old school guys. You have Jake the Snake around.
Yeah,
and like Jericho. But I mean, you know, like Jericho's great, but you know, like I do think that, you know, Jake the Snake Roberts isn't like the best human being, but he is one of the greatest promos of all time. And one of the greatest like talkers and in-ring psychologists of all time. The guy is tremendously good at what he did. And if you go back and watch any of his old promos, you know, he was the one guy that stood out because he was so quiet in his delivery, but Jesus Christ, like he was fucking terrifying. Like as a kid, that was a scary motherfucker. And he still is. Like, you know, like you hear that promo from them back in the day, and it's like, yeah, he could be that crazy drunk uncle who's ready to fucking
stab someone.
He can barely walk and wheels around an oxygen tank, and I'm still scared of the dude.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so like even, you know, even him like having the ability to coach these young kids to, you know, and how to talk and cut promos, etc. They have such a great divergence of talent and what people are really good at, you know, like you have guys like Malenko, who's like one of the fucking best technical wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
You know, a guy who just works circles around anybody, you know, and yeah, to have all that talent together.
I was gonna say, don't discount the man Jerry Lynn, man.
No.
Jerry Lynn was an ass whooper back in like mid late 90s, man. Some of the shit he did in ECW with RVD. Yeah. I mean, he had like a really good. He had one of the few really strong like early days of TNA runs too. Like when they were still doing the weekly pay-per-views, and when they, you know, first got on to, you know, some weekly television stuff. He had a really strong run with that company as well.
Yeah,
and a lot of good shit with Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
it just reminds me. I mean, like everyone, oh, you know, this is like WCW, or this is, you know, it's like early TNA and shit, and it's like it doesn't feel the same in any of those ways.
The culture, the culture,
the culture, and what I was going to say, because it's synergy. What's different between those promotions and what AEW has right now is respect.
But they also
respect their performers.
They also have, I mean, you know, like they have like things that are similar, right? They have like the billionaire owner, you know, you have the Ted Turner. So that's obviously like you can compare that with Tony Khan. You can compare like the wrestling style and the roster.
You're comparing an old white guy.
Yeah.
Let me finish though. So you have these comparison points, right? As why people are like, oh, it's the same thing. And then you have, you know, like this roster of younger talent who's like really active, and they focus a lot on that. So you can say, oh, that's like early TNA. But like where it comes apart is like you don't have anybody who's there right now, right? As a veteran, right? Who's in it for themselves. Who's in it just to be like, I don't care, I'm just here to make money. And that was the thing that WCW had and fucking TNA had. Maybe not in the first couple of years with TNA, but pretty quickly it became fucking, you know, like Hogan's Playground.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's the thing that stands out is all those guys that are there who are veterans, who have been there for forever, understand that like they need to like help these guys to build a generation of professional wrestlers that aren't just cookie cutters of WWE. And it really feels different in that way because there's no one who's in it for themselves and is trying to do business for themselves on that level. It seems like they're all in it to help lift these kids up, and it's awesome. Like that's a really cool thing to see.
Yes. So real quick, I'm just gonna go back to your comment about comparing Tony Khan to Ted Turner. It's time, boys.
Oh boy, here we go. Is it Sheikity of the Wiki?
Sheik of the week. Sheik of the week. I have no idea where I am, so Sheik of the week.
You did great, dude. You're better when you can't hear it.
I have back-to-back tweets from the Iron Sheik today that really tell my feelings about what that statement there. Straight up, shut the fuck up. For immediate assistance, go fuck yourself.
So that was for my comment?
Yes, because Tony Khan genuinely loves wrestling.
Yeah.
Maybe too much. I mean,
sure. But he's still a billionaire owner who's
oh yeah, no, for sure. But like,
compared to fucking Kevin Dunn, who actively hates pro wrestling.
Yeah, to be honest, I just wanted to get the Sheik of the Week out of the way so that way I didn't forget it. So it was the first thing you said that really grinded my gears. So
there's gonna be something, I'm sure. Yeah, the Kevin Dunn thing. I don't know who that quote you sent us, Dozer, was from.
John Moxley.
Yeah, that was from Mox. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the idea that like Kevin Dunn is like a universally hated figure to the point where like even fucking there's like people who are like, yeah, all right, dude, fucking
nobody has come out in his defense.
Yeah, nobody's coming out in his defense. There's like people who are like, yeah, Benoit defenders. They're fucking defenders of what's it, Russo, you know, like
yeah.
I mean, I'll defend Russo to an extent.
No, Russo is a much less offender than fucking Kevin Dunn, man.
Yeah, Russo, you can point to things that were positive he did on the wrestling industry. He has negatives, but there were positives too. There's not a positive Kevin Dunn has done.
Is there anybody? There's nobody who, at any point that I've ever heard, been like, Kevin Dunn's great, ever.
Maybe Vince, if he ever did an interview about it.
No, Vince doesn't talk about Kevin Dunn.
No,
he made fun of him. I mean, he did put him in that goddamn Isaac Yank of DDS fucking vignette back in the day. So I mean, there's that.
There's Nat.
There's Nat.
And you know what? Fuck Kevin Dunn.
Buy the shirts.
Yeah.
All right, boys. What do you say?
What do you say with DDJ?
I think it's time for the. No, that's a different show.
I know. I was just shouting.
Hasn't been on in a bit. What's DDJ up to with that? I don't know.
What is DDJ doing right now? You start this. I'm gonna hit him up. Let's see what he's doing.
We're going to talk about some RESPCT Respect NXT Takeover style. You know, it's
find out our ratings.
Yeah, you know, this came from Full Sail, so you had the fucking NXT fucking crowd of death.
Yeah, they're starting to get pretty bad. I was thinking that. They're going.
The worst part is, you can see still in this show the effect of half the toxic crowd today in NXT. Because fucking Izzy's a big part of the crowd right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Izzy.
We'll talk about that.
Dude, that shit is so funny.
No.
The Lindsay Dorado shit is so funny. Like him spending fucking years talking shit about him on social media all over the place. And then as soon as he gets released, Lindsay's like, all right, man, you want to talk shit? He's like, oh, this is where I'll be. It's close to you. And he reserved a parking spot for him, like paid a $10 voucher so fucking Izzy's dad would have a place to park so he could meet him, so he could talk shit to his face. And like he posted all these pictures on social media and immediately fucking Izzy's dad issued a public apology and then deleted all his social media accounts. He's like, I'm so sorry. I really made a mistake. I went over the line. It was uncalled for.
Yeah. I'm about to get my ass. Like, what did you think would happen? Did you like?
Funny. It's so funny.
Like,
it's like Jay and Silent Bob showing up at your house to kick your ass.
Is that what it's like to not have anxiety? You know what I mean? Because like I just couldn't imagine doing that because I would be like, yeah, this guy's gonna eventually kick my ass. Like I'm either eventually gonna look like a fool or eventually he's gonna kick my ass. So I'm not gonna do this. Does that guy just not have any anxiety about anything? So he's like, I'm just gonna fucking talk shit to this guy. I'll kick his ass. I know I will.
And I am regularly going to go to where this guy works.
Yeah. I mean, what a big dummy.
He's like, oh, I know he can't do anything. It's Karen shit, dude.
Yeah, just
It's
like
not like it's not like us talking shit on Kevin Dunn. We're never going to meet Kevin Dunn.
Also, I'm pretty sure we could all whoop
like,
Kevin Dunn's ass.
Yeah,
like
it's not like me talking shit about Nick Gage, because when I do fight Nick Gage and beat him, because he's a bitch, dude, and he just doesn't win, dude. He's a big bitch, dude. You know he is. Come on.
I mean, no.
You
Nick
said it.
Gage
You
is
said it to me off air. You were like, "Oh yeah, I would whoop his ass too. He could take us both." And then you were like, "Yeah, I'll tag team 2-on-1 with you against Nick Gage." So it'd be Shane and Isaac against Nick Gage.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, I don't think that's the case. I think that you were really high, and actually, you were talking to Dozer. So
yeah, it could be. I don't remember. Either way,
Nick Gage is going to whip my ass if I fight him. So
Nick Gage, you're going down, baby.
I couldn't fight my way out of a wet paper bag. So
anyway, yeah, I would not talk shit to anyone else other than Nick Gage, because all the other superstars and wrestlers are actually tough.
But that brings us to Takeover Revival. We're still in the 6-match takeovers, but with this one, we got some great matches, and we got the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, filled with tag teams that aren't tag teams. And that brings us to our opening match. Finn Balor and the Samoan Joseph taking on, depending where you read on this Wikipedia article, Dash and Dawson, the Mechanics, or the Revival. Just depends where you read on this article.
They have had a lot of names. A couple things I want to touch on real quick, just before we get into it. Like, this show got me so hyped when I started watching, and I know I sent this to the group, but like this show really felt like the beginning of NXT hitting the molten hot streak. It would go on for like 5-6 years, you know what I mean, of just constantly being the best thing that happened any given weekend they did a takeover.
It sure ended on a high note, let's say that much.
But just the whole feeling, because you got to see Dash and Dawson, you got to see American Alpha, you got to see Asuka, you know what I mean, you got to see Balor, you got to see Joe, you had
an incredible women's match.
Yeah, I mean, obviously at the end, but this just like...
You got to see the Rhodes family.
Yeah, I mean, it got me going. And also, commentary's almost there. Like I said, Rich Brennan is a fucking dork.
Oh,
but Tom is coming. I'm telling you, Tom is almost here. Tom's going to save the day.
But imagine being that guy, Rich Brennan, and like nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows. He's got a name. He was on TV for like a year or something.
I mean, no one knows who Byron is, dude. Like,
no, people know who Byron Saxton is. That's at least people remember that name. If you're
you're saying today? I thought you were saying at the time.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And even then, Byron is like still a nobody, but
Byron's still a commentator, bro. He commentates one of the main brands.
It's just so funny to be one of these guys who spent a while doing that, and just nobody knows your name. He called some of the fucking most iconic early matches of fucking takeover history, and fucking
got replaced by Tom Phillips, bro. And I'm not trying to shit on Tom, but he's no fucking Mauro Ranallo. Oh, he's coming too. It's gonna be so awesome. Have I ever told you guys a story about when me and Robert and some of my buddies bullied Tom at a live NXT show?
I think you've told this, but fuck it, dude. Let's do it again. Why not?
So
I got a surprise anyway. So tell your story, and then we'll surprise you. It's not my penis. Don't worry. I already promised.
Oh no!
I already promised.
Oh god! Oh no!
Just moving to the drop button.
Well, yeah. Tom Phillips was the ring bell operator and also one of the ring announcers at NXT from the Arnold,
Yes,
the Arnold Classic. Yeah. And he was there all day. And then me and Robert and my buddy Aaron and some other people that we met were just in this corner, and we were like the wrestling corner. You know what I mean? Like there were a bunch of little kids everywhere. There were, some big old basement dwelling dorks on the other side. But we were the wrestling corner. And then Tom, for whatever reason, every single time Tom would do anything, we would just start booing him. So he would ring the bell. We'd be like, Tom, you did a shit job.
You ring that bell like a bitch.
And he ignored us for like the first 2 hours. And then at one point he looked over and then he was just like,
what the fuck, man?
Yeah, like what are you guys doing? And so we kept doing it for a little bit, and then eventually like some of us were gonna leave. So then we called him over and said we were all sorry and then laughed about it. But just everything he did, it was extremely funny because you could tell he didn't want it.
What is Dozer doing down there?
Yeah, I don't know.
To the computer? It's like her over there.
All right, what's the?
You don't need to know.
Oh no, what is happening? No, I'm gonna save my surprise for the right moment. Now I want to know what Dozer's doing. He's making all sorts of noises.
I'm not doing anything. I don't know what you're fucking talking about.
Oh my god! What is happening?
I'm more nervous for that than you should be for what I got. But
god!
What's the first match of the night here?
I've already announced it.
Dash and Dawson
haven't talked about it
versus Samoan Joseph and Finn Balor.
God, this was pretty good, especially to kick off the night. Like the whole angle of ending up. Here's my surprise.
Oh, hi DDJ.
It's
guys.
D.
Hello, Dennis.
We missed you. We just somebody said, "What do you say?" And they said with DDJ, and we haven't seen him in a while, and so here we are.
Yeah, I
missed you guys.
I am a lot more scared of whatever Dozer's doing than I am of your surprise. Okay.
Yeah. We were just talking about the first match of NXT Takeover Respect, which was the Revival versus Samoan Joe and Finn Balor.
Man, I was kind of just looking at the card here, and first off, if you could have only heard the things Isaac said to me to get me to come on here, if you could have only seen what he said,
oh yeah, it's true.
It's damn true.
It's all true.
But this, and then I was looking at the card, and I know the next match we're going to talk about. Those were both really good matches. I mean, that was a fun way to open the show.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, everyone was stoked to see Balor and Joe. Got the crowd hot as shit, and then you have 4 people that can wrestle, and it's it was
more
hot.
than could be said about a lot of WWE lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was it was a good contrast of styles in many ways. Dash and Dawson. I took a piss next to Dawson one time. That was pretty cool. That was like 2 days before the Arnold. But they're this straight up cutthroat tag team. That's their gimmick. That's what they've always done. And then you have Joe and Balor, who provide, the big man muscle and intimidation factor, really hard strikes from Joe. And then you've got, Finn flying all over the place and being the punching bag for Samoa Joe's hot tag. Yep. Both of these guys were really hot at this point in NXT. I mean, the 2 biggest stars on the brand to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, Balor had only done what, like 1 or 2 appearances, maybe 1 appearance as the Demon at this point.
Yeah, and he wasn't the Demon for this either. He was just Finn.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was like really early in his run. Like, he had Demoned like once or twice.
I believe this was very early in Joe's run with NXT too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like it was his second takeover appearance, I think, because he
third if we count his debut.
Oh, okay. Well, second takeover match then.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it was just a really well worked match. I don't think that there was anything in particular that was like mind bending. You know what I mean? There was no point in this match where I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever watched. But it was just a really solid tag team match. And you could do much worse on any WWE television this week.
I mean, even with the Dusty Classic, it didn't feel like there were any real stakes. Whoa. I hear
What is
shade.
happening?
I'm trying to share the link.
I was like,
Oh.
damn, I heard Shane. That's my boy. But yes, it didn't feel like there were high stakes, and it did feel like Joe and Balor were just sort of thrown together for this, and it didn't seem like the most.
They were always going to win. You know what I mean? They were always going to win unless there was a turn, and there was no turn, so they won.
Yeah. But it was a solid match. It was higher than a 3, but it wasn't quite 3.5. I'd say 3.25 is a very fair rating to give this one. Highly entertaining, good stuff. Not nearly the match of the night, nothing like groundbreaking, but a great tag team match and a great first match of the card.
I was just gonna say that match did what any good opening match at a major event does, is it gets the crowd going. It starts the show off strong, and I thought this was a great way to start the show.
Rating, Dennis?
I'm gonna go with my man Isaac. I'm gonna give it 3.25 as well.
Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, I was gonna go with a 3, but I'm just gonna go with a 3.25 because I know Dozer has already written down his wrote down his rating. I just want to see if it works.
So we got 3.25, 3.25, 3.25, and
well, ladies and gentlemen, we have what we're going to call a full house.
Where
we have
I love the
where we have 3 people rating it 3.25 and 2 people rating it 3.
Oh man, so close to a cluster.
Man, I was gonna rate it a 3.
So I agreed with fucking Meltzer.
I would have agreed with. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Then I agree with Meltzer and Dozer because 3 was my rating. So
it was a 3, but it was a little better than that. So I'm not ashamed of my 3.25 like you are.
Nor should you be.
Well,
no, I'm not.
It wasn't my rating to begin with. I just wanted to.
That's why I brought you on.
See you pound a beer because I thought it would be funny.
I got you.
Oh,
back
I was hoping we could. We have more matches to go.
we have a couple things that I think will block a clusterfuck in this show.
Oh no.
Yeah, Meltzer ratings or Dozer ratings, one or the other. Who knows? They're kind of interchangeable.
Mostly, I think. So that brings us to our next match of the night, where we have the incomparable Baron Corbin and Rhino taking on American Alpha, Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. God, what a great tag team they were.
They were.
It's such a shame.
Awesome. That was the best.
Like Jason Jordan having to retire really is such a shame because I would have loved to have seen them, reuniting the tag team in WWE or elsewhere. He's fucked up neck.
Yeah.
He did that angle with Seth Rollins, remember, where they won the tag titles, but then he just sat on the ring steps, and then he's like, ugh, and then he just retired.
Damn, dude, he really is Kurt Angle.
Doing that angle with Kurt Angle, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle's, son.
My son.
That's what I'm saying.
My son, Jason Jordan. My son.
The broken freaking neck, huh?
Well, yeah, that was about the only uniting factor between those two.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah, American Alpha at that point, man, for a tag team that sort of got thrown together and with a stupid fucking gimmick, Gable, dude, that man put those fuckers on his back and carried them. His promos were were the best thing that they did, and he in ring, the guy was just a fucking workhorse.
Oh, Jason Jordan kicked ass though.
He was good. He was good, but you got to.
He was still greener than.
Well, yeah.
Gable was prime time ready.
I mean, the fact that Gable hasn't been like allowed to succeed more in that company is a goddamn shame because
He also lost his first name.
of course he did. Everyone
And
loses all their
well,
names.
at some point he
At least
lost
he's
most
not
of
being,
his name
he's
and
not known
gained a
as Shorty G
shorty.
anymore.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say he was Shorty G. I forgot about
he's
that.
just
He's not,
Ann
at
of,
least
Despite
but he
not
lost
even being
that.
the shortest guy on the roster.
you see, at least he's not like Anne of Green Gables now, you know. Oh, we got this great idea, pal.
Don't let Kevin hear that.
Yeah, this match was all right. I mean, it made me feel bad, honestly, because I miss these guys so much. I miss that tag team so much, and yeah, the Baron Corbin Rhino combo it was all right. They're fine. Rhino is great, but
Rhino has legitimately maybe the best belly to belly in professional wrestling history.
it's pretty fucking.
He's
awesome.
also got the best spear as well too. I think
the gore is probably
I mean, but the Bill Goldberg spear, dude. Goldberg didn't do anything right, but the spear was the one thing because he just launched his big meaty dumb head.
Like, he just tackled. He did a football tackle. He like full on was trying to hurt him.
Yeah, but go ahead, Isaac. Sorry, I just wanted to touch on the belly to belly.
Yeah, I mean, I like the wrestlers involved. It wasn't a great match. It was not nearly as good as the opening tag team match. It was fine. There wasn't anything wrong with it, but it wasn't a 3. It was maybe a 2.5-star match, and I don't know if part of that is just me feeling bad because I miss American Alpha so much. But, 2.5. It was fine. It wasn't bad. It was an average match for me. It was mediocre, right in the middle.
Yeah, like Rhino at this point could still go, but he needed someone to work with. You know what I mean? And obviously Chad Gable's that guy. But you could tell he was a little slow. Baron Corbin at this point was still really, really green. Like he's getting better. You can tell he's getting better.
He's definitely happy.
You know, the first now he is. The first like 90% of this match was pretty slow, pretty, not boring, but it, just a wrestling match. But the finish was awesome. The finish was really good with Jason Jordan finally getting the hot tag, straps down, and then just suplexing everyone and all of the different moves that they hit. And then I loved them recalling the Chad Gable like tilt-a-whirl head scissors deal, but then turning it into the end of days. That's like one of the best end of days you'll ever see.
That was fucking awesome.
Yes, it was so cool. I was like, wow, that was a
different move.
Yeah, no, like the finishing sequence was incredible, and for that, I agree with Isaac actually, and honestly, 2.5.
Oh shit, dog! All right,
yeah,
here we go.
I'm just gonna go on and say, yeah, the 3 of us agree that I gave it a 2.5 as well.
Meltzer's gonna love this. Fuck.
You know what? I can't really add much or take away from, basically anything you guys said. I think you nailed everything. So that alone, I'll stick with a 2.5 as well too.
All right, 4 of a kind here. We're close.
Well, I will happily tell you there ain't no clusterfuck today. Meltzer gave this a 3.5.
Are you out of your fucking mind, Meltzer?
There's no way this was better.
That's
that revival match. That's insane.
Oh, what in the world?
Okay, here's a legitimate question though.
Meltzer smoked the hopium for most of this.
What if we saw Finn Balor and Samoa Joe versus FTR in AEW? The same exact match, nothing different. Only thing is that it's an AEW. What does he give that match rating? It's a 4, right?
Is it in the Tokyo Dome?
Yeah, right now. I mean,
If it's in the Tokyo Dome, it gets 6 stars.
That's insane.
-5 stars.
I finished my beer because that was so fucking stupid, but I'm glad we all agreed.
Okay, that brings us to a match that I want to say surprised me a little bit, and that was Asuka taking on Dana Brooke. With my first thought of just, dear God, we fucked up Dana Brooke. And I can't tell if she was really good in this match and we fucked her up after the fact, or Asuka covered a lot. I don't know.
Asuka's that good.
Asuka covered everything.
I
like Dana Brooke. Yeah. She's improved so much. Like
I've always thought she had a good look. I always thought she could do it, and yes.
She's become a pretty healthy hand to have on the roster. I mean, I respect Dana Brooke a lot.
She's got a hell of a boyfriend. I mean, he's what do they call him, the troll killer or whatever?
Who's her boyfriend?
I can't think of.
Dave Bautista.
No. I can't think of what his name is. It's Ulysses Diaz or something like that. It's an MMA guy. But did you hear about what happened?
No.
Like some
real Jay and Silent Bob shit.
Some guy.
He was the one who showed up at dude's house.
Yeah, the guy was trolling Dana or something like that, and the dude went and showed up at his house and punched him and got arrested.
Hell yeah!
And he's an MMA fighter. Nice. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Batista because I remember when she fucking was like booty calling Batista on Twitter.
Suddenly gained the Batista bomb as a move.
Oh my god, dude, that shit was great. But yes,
did you guys real quick? Did you guys know that Raquel Gonzalez dates Braun Strowman? I found that out on Twitter like 2 days ago. I was relatively shocked. I mean, whatever, good for them. But
he must be hung.
She really gets these hands then.
Yes.
What do you mean he's hung? Do you see how big this motherfucker is?
That's what I'm saying. He must be, dude. And he's hung for a lesbian too. He has huge hands.
Oh my god. All right, Asuka.
This also, let's not forget, it had Emma and not Happy Emma. This is Angry Emma.
Yeah, this was not.
Yeah, I don't know. This was not
the evolution.
This was not a good match. Was this her debut match though?
Yeah, this was Asuka's debut match.
For what it was a great debut match. The crowd was over as shit for her, even though the crowd was kind of obnoxious.
Fuck this crowd.
Asuka looked great. Dana Brooke did a great job putting her over. The match itself was not interesting. It was a squash, obviously, but it was a little more interesting than a typical squash. But I mean, it wasn't anything special. I love Asuka, and it was great to see her come out and like fuck with her and do her chain wrestling and do her thing, make fun of Dana Brooke, like all of it, like. She established very quickly that she was a face and someone to be reckoned with. And it was short. And
5 minutes, 7 seconds.
Yeah, you can't say much about it. It certainly wasn't better than anything I've seen. I love Asuka and I love Dana Brooke, but it wasn't anything great. It was a good debut, but yeah, that's about all I can say.
I mean, yeah, it was Asuka's debut, and and you had to have her, make her look strong. So, I mean, really, I don't think it could have got Ben more than anything more than a squash.
Yeah.
Isaac, what's your rating?
I'm gonna go a 1.5 on this one because it just wasn't that good. But I mean, it was fine for what it was, but it wasn't anything special.
What debut was it that we saw recently that you and Dozer gave way too high of a rating for because you were so stoked on the debut? Because they came out and they did a squash. It was something pretty recent.
Was it on NXT?
I really don't remember, but it somebody debuted and I was like, you two are out of your fucking mind.
Nothing is canon here.
I remember the interaction, don't remember the match.
Yeah,
nothing's canon here.
I feel that way about this match. I don't think it's you gotta go watch it, but for what it is, it really works. Asuka looks badass. You get to see a really different style of wrestling than anything you've seen in WWE, really up to this point in history. You get to see the strong style. You get to see the ultra technical, submissions and everything else. You get to see the sometimes over exuberant, Japanese, style personality. Didn't seen anything like that on WWE in a long time or ever at all. And they did a fine enough job of making Dana semi-competitive, just enough to, hold you over. This was like a 3-star piece of business, man.
You thought this was as good as the opening match?
No, but for what it was,
3-2-5.
but for what it was, it was that good. The match itself, no, but
no, I'm not gonna argue with you when you're wrong. It would just be rude.
Dozer was making some faces.
I did think this was better than the opening match. I really enjoyed watching Asuka. It's hard to compare a 5-minute match to a 9-minute match. There's an extra 4 minutes. If this went 4 minutes longer, it probably would not have been as good. But for what it was really good. I really enjoyed seeing what Asuka brought to the table here. And she's really bringing in the second generation of this women's evolution. I thought it was perfect. I loved it. I'm giving it a 3.25.
All right. Wow. Okay. I feel bad.
Let's go, Dozer.
Because I love Asuka and I thought it was great, and I gave it such a low rating.
And for what it was, again, it was Asuka's debut. You had to have her look strong. At the time, Dana's still, learning the ropes, kind of green and stuff. But it was what it accomplished what it needed to accomplish. For that, I'm not going to go as high as Dozer and Shane, but I'm not going to go as low as Isaac. I'm going to kind of go in the middle. I'm going to go 2.5.
That's a very responsible rating, Dennis. Thank you.
That's me, Mr. Responsible.
I'm drinking, motherfuckers, because Meltzer gave it a 3.25.
Oh.
Wow. He's out of his mind. But so is Dozer, so.
Dan Shane.
I think we all are.
Yeah, well, that brings us to Apollo Crews taking on Tyler Breeze.
See, I think we might just start disagreeing around here. This match, I don't know. Like, I love Tyler Breeze and I love Apollo Crews.
Weakest match of the night.
It went too long. It went so long for no reason.
Yeah.
And
it felt like they just were trying to
fill time. This match, I didn't want them to disrespect Tyler Breeze here. How long was this match, Dozer?
9 minutes, 41 seconds.
This match could have been 2 minutes shorter, super easily.
Yeah, just I don't know if there was anything I can pick apart that I didn't that made it fucking boring for me. It just it wasn't like they did anything wrong. The wrestling was fine. Tyler Breeze is incredible. The Crews was incredible. And yet they just put on a boring match.
Why did this need to be on TakeOver?
It didn't. This is focused on having 6-match takeovers. We haven't entered the 5-match takeover yet.
Yeah, this is a NXT weekly television at that point. Main event, you add 3 to 4 minutes onto it and make it like a 12, 13 minute match. And that's your main event of a weekly, NXT episode. It was just okay. It felt like they were getting all of their shit in rather than just working. I think
the note I have in agreement with you in a way is it didn't feel cohesive.
Yeah, no, it just felt like guys getting their shit in, and you
sometimes
knew
what happens with matches. Just that people don't work, together.
Yeah, and you just know that Cruz is gonna win. You know, Tyler Breeze hasn't won shit. He never
He's their
won
enhanced.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's the
I
new
mean,
CJ Parker.
Dolph Ziggler, dude.
Yeah, exactly. But for NXT, yeah, CJ
Yeah.
Parker, the next CJ Parker.
It was, I don't know, like a two. It's a 2.
This for me was easily the weakest of the night, which means I'm rating it a 1.
Oh, it wasn't that bad, man. You're
Just
out of
didn't
control right now.
see. I'm on a downward slide.
Yeah, you're out of control. A 1? Do you
Oh,
understand some of the matches you've rated above a 1?
Yeah, I
Oh
love
boy.
it. There is no canon for me.
Oh,
You know, some
Look,
people,
I'm
some
sure
people
if we
rate-
compare all of Meltzer's ratings, and they're all over the fucking
Yeah, some
place.
people
he
rate-
shouldn't aspire to be Meltzer.
Some people rate
That's
with a system.
If
right?
your life's
Some
ambition
people-
is to be Dave Meltzer, then you
Yeah.
really need to reevaluate your life.
I mean, to be honest,
Whether you
like,
say it or not, he's the only other person whose ratings we include in the show. He's the
Yeah,
only
no,
person
I
who
mean,
has.
I would
Yeah.
love to shove my thumb up my ass all day, every day, and make up ratings while watching wrestling. That'd be incredible.
And make
I
a
would
career
love
out
hate
of
it.
it.
I would
Yep.
hate to be. I would hate that, honestly. Think about all the wrestling he has to watch.
I would
God,
have
I
to
would
spend
be-
some time.
He
cleaning my
doesn't
fucking
watch
office.
half of it, I assure you. Like his ratings.
Somebody else
dude.
sends him ratings.
No, he's fucking off for some of these matches, man. He's
Dude,
gotta
have
be.
you se- I mean, his office, for Christ's sakes.
No,
Dude,
his-
the guy
his-
does not
his-
look healthy or happy.
His dick
He's
is in his hand a lot, man.
His office looks like some of the houses I've seen on Hoarders.
Yo, have you been getting those YouTube suggestions for hoarders? Because
No.
Christ Almighty. Oh,
I haven't,
guess
but
you
my
watch
wife loves
one.
that show.
Oh my God, it's so depressing, bro.
I think that's all my wife watches on Discovery Plus.
It is
Dozer.
depressing.
Rating.
Yes,
Or
2.25.
Dennis.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 2, just because again, it just for some reason just these two, just it didn't click. But I want to say though, man, how awesome was Apollo Cruz's theme back then?
Yeah,
Oh, I loved it.
it was
I
great.
like this Apollo Crews better than I like whatever he's fucking doing.
Oh, me too.
Oh,
But I mean, his
the Black
theme back
Panther.
then though was banging.
I'm sitting here going, my God, I want him and Titus Worldwide back together because it's better than what the fuck he's doing. But I will happily tell you, no one has to drink. Meltzer was smoking something for this match.
Oh boy.
Here we go. We're getting almost a 4.
3.25.
Oh.
He's out of his
Dang.
goddamn mind. All right.
I don't know what he was smoking or if he watched the match at all because it wasn't the match we
He
saw.
didn't watch the fucking match. I'm telling you, this motherfucker straight up does
He's like all
dozer
these
shit.
guys.
Looks at comments on the internet. And
That's why it
how
takes
we
3
rate.
days for the ratings to come out.
Yeah, exactly. It's insane. He waits for a public reaction and then decides whether or not he's going to be ridiculous or he's going to be sensible, and then he just goes from there. This man has it made. He just lies.
Is it a lie? Ratings are opinions. Like there's no.
I don't. It's not his opinion. I'm telling you. Unless it's like New Japan.
His opinion.
Opinions are like assholes, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has
Pretty
one,
much
and they're
everybody
all
has
fun.
one.
They're all fun to eat.
I don't know
You
about
eat
that.
opinions?
Oh dear God.
No, I guess it falls
know-
apart when you go from the assholes, huh?
That brings us to the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, where we have 2 non-tag teams competing. And we have Finn Balor and Samoa Joe taking on Happy Corbin and the man they call Rhino.
I actually like this match a lot. I like this match quite a bit.
Are
I
you
thought-
kidding?
No, I thought that the storytelling in it was actually really good.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I know. I call me crazy, but I thought the whole Finn Balor with the fucked up knee thing was great. He sold the hell out of it. all the way till the finish. I thought was fucking awesome. Yeah, I thought it was a really fucking solid tag match from two teams that had like some similarities, but like for the most part was like, very different styles. And yeah, I don't know, it fully entertained me. Was it the best match of the night? Was it as good as the opening match? No, but it was solid as hell for me. And I love that Kupti at the end where, he is selling the knee injury, and it was fucking awesome. They deserved to win. All the fanfare at the end was, I won't include in my rating, but it was kind of wild to see all
the pageantry.
The Rhodes,
see half,
like,
see half of AEW's roster in the ring.
dude, to see Cody, to see Brandy, to see Dustin all in the ring was like, oh yeah, fuck, man, they did fucking, yeah, holy shit. It was a double take for a second.
There were multiple points in the show, one of those included, that felt very Japanese. Like the pageantry of a lot of the stuff they did, and obviously the finish of the main event was very like old school. Awesome. We'll talk about that, I'm sure.
It felt important.
Yeah, no. It felt super important, and I think that is what elevated this match, because the match itself was just kind of clunky and big and brawly and not necessarily in a good way the entire time. And
we had three big hosses in the match. What did you expect?
Yeah, but Samoa Joe ain't a straight big hoss. You know what I mean? Rhino. Yeah, but Rhino is still towards, not towards the end, but on the wrong end of his career here. He can still go. And Baron Corbin is also on the wrong end of his career here. Those two,
right end of his career.
Well, yeah, dude, I like Corbin. I know I disagree with everyone. I like Baron Corbin. I think
ever since he
I don't hate him.
Yeah, no, he's like a really incredible asset to the company, and honestly, one of the better NXT call-ups you're gonna see, which is probably what we'll be talking about on the show next week.
One of the better soul NXT guys, not a prior indie guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, one of the best homegrown talents, but I don't know, a lot of this match just felt kind of painted by the numbers, and like, this is what's gonna happen, and then this is gonna happen, and it was all done pretty well. I mean, I think Baron Corbin looked, particularly in this match, the best he's looked so far. And obviously he was aided by, three consummate professionals, and Rhino did what he needed to do and ate the pinfall and all the pageantry after. But I don't know. In the end, I think it's like a 2 point, I don't know, 2.5.
Oof. I'm going 3. I'm going solid 3. I had a really good time with this match. I thought, and separate from it, I want to say that I remember watching this live, and I remember, like, this was very soon after Dusty died.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, I was at the pay-per-view after he died. I was at Money in the Bank 2016, which was like 3 days after or whatever.
And I just the respect shown in NXT to him, and Cody's promo, especially live, like when I watched it live, was really heartfelt. And even if it's a little cheesy, though, we're tonight we were all Rhodes was a great, was a good moment. But like the match itself and how what it felt important at that point.
It would have felt better if it would have been an actual tag team and not something where they turn it into an angle.
Yes.
The week after, because Samoa Joe immediately turns heel, immediately goes after Finn's title.
And I don't disagree with any of that. But, in the moment, it was great.
Like, if American Alpha would have won, and these shiny, fresh baby faces, you know what I mean? And
could they have done it better? Yeah.
you strap the rocket to their ass, you know what I mean? And they got the Dusty and all the Rhodes is,
I mean, honestly, it should have been, fantasy booking wise with that same setup. It should have been FTR versus American Alpha.
Oh, absolutely.
In the final,
but we're gonna
get
that soon
with the match.
We're gonna get it soon.
But that would have been a nice kick to either one of those two.
Yes.
They could have used the rub, and the other guys didn't need it. But it is what it is. That's why I give it a 3. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it was a great match for what it was.
Isaac, I'm agreeing with you. I give it a 3. And here's what I want to say about it. Because you liked it. It had old school storytelling, old school work a body part going on in it with a new school feel.
I can't argue.
It felt modern in the moveset, but the psychology was old, and I enjoyed that.
I can't argue with that.
I liked it too. I love tournaments, especially when the guys that are wrestling, depending on how many rounds there are, when they wrestle twice or 3 times and they come out and they sell their injuries, and one of the things I always was when Bret Hart would work multiple matches a night. If he got injured one match, he was always really good about selling an injury, and when he talked about Finn with his leg injury, it's just that kind of stuff. I love that. And I liked how you said, the old school feel, the old school vibe with the new school feel. And that definitely fits, right in with that. And I would say, I'll go with you guys. I'll give it a 3 as well.
Dennis, I think there might be an invader in your home.
No, that's no invader. That's my wife that walked by.
Hi.
Oh, she's already upstairs.
Okay, well,
tell her I said hi.
I would like to state 3 of us have to drink. Shane, you saved yourself. 3 of us agreed with Meltzer, though. He gave it a 3.
You should have. Oh well.
Yeah, it wasn't a 3, man. I mean, I can't jump up 0.75. I can morally handle a 0.25, but
morally handle
it's against my morals.
It's against my morals.
This show has morals? When that
yes.
Wait, when did this isn't what I signed up for.
No, the only morals is you gotta drink. We're morally obligated to drink and do druggins.
Well, that brings us to our main event.
Yes.
The first time a women's match has main evented a special event. The longest WWE women's match in history till this point.
This shit was
we
fucking
have
awesome.
Bayley taking on Sasha Banks in an Iron Woman match.
Man, Sasha's...
Is it really still to this day the longest women's match they've done? Okay.
It is not. It was superseded by Charlotte versus, I believe, Sasha again in another 30-minute women's Iron Man match at Roadblock, end of the line.
Yeah,
okay, that's right. I did
which went 5 minutes into overtime.
This also kicked ass, man. And it started on such a good note with Sasha making Izzy cry. And it was the best thing ever. She's just sobbing. That little fucking idiot is sobbing.
Yeah, hey, careful, we're going to get fans coming to us and booing us nonstop. It was
like 15-something minutes in. It was great. It was great, though, yeah. And I gotta say...
No. She starts off with it because she's fucking with her to begin with.
Oh, well, but I think the part where she makes
she steals her bow.
That wasn't later in the match.
She steals her bow later in the match, and she starts bawling.
Pretty sure that's really early.
I thought it was later on in the match.
Yeah, it was 15-something in for sure because they had gone up, they had fought up the ramp, and they were doing shit. She had slammed Bayley into the board at that point.
No, but she fucks with her at the beginning of the match too, and I'm pretty sure she's crying at the beginning of the match. She cries multiple times.
Oh, okay. I didn't see her crying in the beginning. Then I just saw her bawling when Sasha steals her fucking bow. But either way, the match itself, man. This shit, dude. What a fucking great match. Everything about it. I love I love the intensity at this time that fucking Sasha Banks had. I mean, when she would put in that bank statement on Bailey and like stomp her hands and shit as she was going for the ropes and stomp her face and step on, like that shit was so good. Like fuck, it was so good. And Bailey was such a good baby face at that point. And like both of them, like you could respect them like for what they were accomplishing, and then the work that they fucking put out was just perfect that night. Like really was. Like I don't know, there was a perfect match in a lot of ways. The finish was great with her getting locked up in that submission move and not being able to tap out and having to scream, I'm done. And
Yeah, and then how the Sasha's hand ended up being one of the deciding factors in the match, and they called back to that. And just the storytelling throughout was awesome. The first fall Sasha gets is by just an eye poke and then a roll up, and then Bailey comes back like 2-3 minutes later, whatever, and hits a big old power Bailey to belly.
Yeah.
And then you have Sasha, just, being a slimy heel and inking out the next pin, and then Bailey hitting another power move. You know what I mean? You had that storyline. I liked them using a count out as a finish in this match. I thought it was cool. The idea that she could be counted out twice. That isn't explored very much.
Definitely one of the times she made Izzy cry was during the count out.
Yes.
She had the bow on and she was making fun of her. That was great.
The commentary, especially between Corey and Byron in this match, is particularly strong because Byron is just an absolute love muffin of a commentator, and Corey is really hitting his stride here, his NXT stride, and he is just cutting and jarring, but also like when he gets humbled, he acts like it. He's a really nice balance of heel to sometimes sensible to sometimes realizing when he's wrong.
And what I will say, agreeing with the commentary here, is this is one of the few matches in modern WWE history where you can just listen to the commentary and get the feel of the match.
Yeah,
There's very few commentators where you can sit there and pop on and act like it's an old radio show.
Everyone remembers Mauro, and for good reason, because Mauro Ranallo was probably the greatest play-by-play commentator WWE has ever had, and by and large, one of the greatest play-by-play commentators of any sport of all time, period. But, like, we're coming up on Tom Byron and Corey, and that's a really special group of guys. I mean, that's the voice of early NXT,
God,
like early
shut up,
hot
Byron
NXT.
Stuff.
Oh,
like when
it's
it becomes
so
like the
funny.
Yeah, just Gray's ripping on Byron Saxon all the time was fucking great.
And like the thing is Tom comes in and he's just as dorky as Byron. So Corey's just shitting on both of them the entire time, and it's so good.
It's great.
But
this match, man.
I mean, it really is like, and you could tell these girls still had something to prove. Like, not to shit on Raquel or anything. Like, Raquel's a great champion, but like Raquel Gonzalez doesn't have anything to prove. She's NXT Women's Champion. That speaks for itself at this point. This match was still them trying to prove that this was a major belt to hold in your career.
And not only that, but it was they were trying to prove that like
women's wrestling was more than being a diva. They're still fucking calling them divas.
And not only that, but that not only was it more important, like more than just being a diva, but that they could be the main event.
Yeah.
And make it fucking something special. And I tell you what, it does nothing on this card before this match matters, in my opinion.
And the one thing was about this match is they had this was the follow up to the Brooklyn match.
Yeah,
Yes.
which was 5 stars.
Right.
And this is a 5.
This had a lot to live up to.
This is absolutely a 5-star match all day. If I was willing to go higher, I would. But to me, this is a perfect match for everything it needed to accomplish and for everything it did. Like it was for me, it was perfect.
So here's the thing is I am willing to go higher than that. And I will right now. Because the way WWE treated these women after the match was something truly special.
Yes.
That's part of it.
Was it WWE? Is it Triple H?
I don't care.
It's just the NXT.
It doesn't matter.
They were treated really well.
Like the flowers and like the way like Sasha reacted and just dropped character and like realized like what had just happened and like Bayley's reaction and the flowers and everything else.
They had everyone out there in the roster.
Mm-hmm. And this was a 5.25, and I stand by that because
this is a first, ladies and gentlemen, the first time in SGS history we have broken the chart. I don't agree with it, and I don't condone it. So I personally only hear the 5. The 0.25 is made up. So Shane and I are agreeing at a 5 because we only go to 5. We don't Meltzer this shit.
Wait, so you're talking the point?
It's my show, man. I'll do whatever I want.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I can do whatever I want because it's
you're talking
show. A max rating is a max rating.
You're talking the points are all made up here. Now, what are we? Whose line is it anyway?
I wish, dude. That'd be awesome. Can we get Colin Mockery on the show?
No, the old school, the British one. Y'all remember the British one?
Yep.
American one.
Oh yes, DDJ's old. He remembers. He's old like me.
Well, no, I've seen the British one, but the American one is one of the few shows that I think is actually better.
It's on
American.
The Whose Line Is It Anyway? If you guys got HBO Max, the one that Drew Carey hosted, that's on HBO Max.
I just think
and
it's
the one
better.
that
Also,
Drew
The
Carey
Office.
hosted is way better than the one Aisha Taylor hosted.
Oh no! Oh Jesus Christ! We don't want to spoil any of this for Wade, guys. We don't want to spoil any of the Whose Line Is It Anyways.
Dozer.
5, so we got 3 5s. That's 15 points.
You know what? We're gonna make it unanimous.
Well, this Meltzer didn't rate it a 5 because the first match he rated in between the Cena Punk Money in the Bank fiasco and was Andrade Cien Almas with the 2 names with the with 2 extra names versus Johnny Gargano. So he rated this like probably like a 3.75 or something.
Hey, if someone can guess Meltzer's rating, I'll give you a point.
6.
4.5.
DDJ?
6.
4.25.
He's out of his mind. What did he miss? Like what the fuck?
It's the one match he didn't rate something starting with a 3 during this whole show, which is impressive considering how many matches of his have we watched where he gave it a 0. Like he uses 0 a shit ton.
Well, I will say this. I don't care what came before this match. This match was so good. I've got to give this pay-per-view a 4 as a whole. Because I would watch this match again and again, and I would watch the whole pay-per-view if I had to, just to get to it.
Which basically you have to do with the cock.
Yeah, you kind of do. But I mean, no, the reality is like, even if you average it out, like, goddamn, this match was so good that I can't help but give the whole show, and it feels...
So you're actually rating it above a 5, right? Because if you average it out, with what you rated everything else, I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm using average in a liberal way. It can mean something other than it is. Yeah.
The accountant in me disagrees, but
yeah, well, it's all Semitics, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this pay-per-view got me hyped. Like I'm so ready for
Did you
like
stay
London.
hyped?
Yeah, get hyped. Like I'm ready for London. I'm ready for what's to come. Like San Antonio is coming up. Nakamura is coming very soon.
Oh, damn, yes.
Yeah,
His
yeah, right.
NXT run.
Yeah, like
It's so bittersweet,
we're
dude.
so close to getting into like just talent on talent on talent that's constantly changing. Like takeovers are going to get wild and very varied soon. But I can't take that into account. There was nothing outstanding earlier in the card before the main event, but there was also nothing like truly bad. As a whole, I think this is like a 3.25 show, but with a must-watch main event. If you're gonna go down and watch some wrestling, just sit down. You could do way worse than this show.
That's the thing is like the whole is better than the parts.
The sum of the parts.
The sum is definitely better than the parts. It's one of those things that like normally it's the opposite, but Jesus Christ, man. It really did. Like that main event is so fucking good.
Yeah, I give it a 3 1/4 overall because it was very enjoyable, and like Shane said, you're getting to the point where you're starting to get in where NXT really takes off.
Like it's not going to be too long before Drew Galloway wins the NXT title and then gets beaten down by the soon to be undisputed era. Like we're getting close, boys.
Yeah, we're about to have a War Games without the undisputed era, man.
That's insane.
Is that possible?
Well, we're gonna find out.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it and probably not be happy. Oh, real quick, did y'all see that the Bobby Fish did Adam Cole's bidding on AEW?
Yep.
They're trying to rebuild the band, baby.
Nice. Well, I did see the picture of them, and I was like so confused. I was like, oh, that's Fish, and that's Adam Cole, and I'm like, who the fuck are these two bozos? And I'm like, Jesus Christ! It's the Fox and Jacksons.
Oh, the young bucks.
No, I didn't even know it was them when I said it. I was literally like, because I was like, I thought it would be, and I was like, oh, is that? I was like, no, that's not them. And I'm looking, I'm like, wait, maybe it is. And they look so stupid. Oh, they look stupid. Yeah, I am. I'm just not a fan of theirs, dude. Even when I don't know who they are.
The whole point.
I did know it's the wrong kind of heat for me. It's the kind of heat where I'm just like, I want to turn them off. I don't want to watch them. I don't want to watch them get beat up. I don't want to watch them do any of their
I gave it a 3.25.
That's a 3.25 out of 4 of us say it's.
What Uncle
Dave
did it?
Meltzer doesn't rate whole shows, so I do his the same way I do mine. I add up my scores and divide them by the number of matches. He gave it a 3.375.
So he liked the show more than all of us.
Except me.
No.
Except you. Yeah,
You gave it a 4.
I gave it a 4.
Isaac gave it a 4.
And that was literally because the
bad.
main event was so fucking good. It just.
I want to point out something I found quite amusing here. If I take your scores and I do my math on them, Isaac, you gave it a 2.7. Shane, you also gave it a 2.7.
Oh boy,
that's pretty funny. But
what about me?
DDJ, you gave it a 3.
Okay.
Well, that was pretty close. I think we had a at least one thing that we can all agree on tonight, and that is that the main
fuck
event,
Kevin Dunn.
It was excellent.
There's
yes,
two
that's
things.
2 things. Fuck Kevin Dunn, and 3 things is thank you, Johners Network, Johners Podcasting Network, for having us as part of the team. It's 3 things we can agree on.
Absolutely.
We love. Congrats to shout out to John for just celebrating 3 years of his show.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God, DDJ, we have you. Please go on a little promo rant here. Promote your thing, promote what you're doing, give a little shout out to Johners, and do what you
Just
do
let him do
best.
what he's going to do.
Oh man, well, it was a very nice. I was very happy to get on. I miss doing this with you guys.
Yeah, we miss you too, man.
And I mean, Isaac, you're lucky that I wasn't in the room next to you because he might have talked the clothes right off of me there.
Oh, I will someday.
But no, as always, thanks to Johners for not only having such good shoot, but my show, which is what do you say with DDJ, which is kind of a little on a hiatus. I'm hoping to maybe get it started at the beginning of next year, relaunch it with some new interviews and stuff, and then obviously the show I do with the hot one Jay Minacho and the premier Joey K, and shooting shit. Which guys, check out our latest episode. It's our first, just basically where it's just free form. We threw the script away, we threw the format sheet away, we just literally just shot and on things and stuff. We talked.
You write a script?
A format sheet.
We used a format.
I didn't know what that. We
What's a format?
We should talk after this. Maybe we can do something. Maybe we can make our show good.
But no, we talk about, like, we spent a lot of time talking about all the recent releases, and then we talked about some AEW stuff and that, and then we also just recently did one of our first bonus episode where we continued our drafting of the Ring of Honor roster, hot off the heels of the news that Ring of Honor is going on hiatus after a final battle here and stuff. But we got
where does Jay Lethal land?
A little bit of a spoiler alert. I actually drafted him in the second round from episode 10 when we actually started this. I had him going back to Impact.
God, I want to see him somewhere else. I just wish NXT was not 2.0. I wish NXT was 1.0 because that would be so good.
Oh, yeah.
It would be good. It'd be amazing, but that's not where we're at. But speaking of 2.0, I in a couple weeks,
the show rules.
Maybe we can work out something for a special Thanksgiving episode. Extra stuff, extra fucked. And maybe we'll try to fix WWE. I don't know. Maybe we'll have some special guests.
I can't wait for that. I was gonna say I think we're gonna see more of DDJ soon.
Well,
yeah, no. I'm not going away that easy. I'm this close to being done with physical therapy.
Hell yeah.
3 more
sessions.
I got 3 sessions left.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Isaac, you want to pound the rest of our beers as Dozer carries us out since we agreed?
Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Such Good Shoot. We're the podcast about anything and everything in the world of wrestling. And make sure to check us out every Thursday at 10:05 right here. I'm going to keep talking until they drink. And, eventually I'm just going to... Thank you for listening to this edition of Such Good Shoot. If you are on YouTube, please remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon. Or subscribe to us on your favorite audio catcher. Or finally, if you're on Facebook, leave a comment, like the video, and make sure to share it out to all your friends.